click is all it takes to lose everything.
We are in a cyber war. You can either be a defendant or you could be a victim.
AI, artificial intelligence. This is the new thing that's promising to solve all of our cybersecurity problems. Two of the big conferences that happen every year is RSA and Black Hat. And I tell you, at both of those conferences, everybody was touting about artificial intelligence and saying this is the next best thing and this is going to solve all our problems. So I want to just help you out here on what is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is basically utilizing computers to perform activity that are usually performed by humans that require some thought, some analytics, or some solution solving capability. So we're basically trying to utilize computers to mimic or solve problems that normally would have to be solved by a human. And the whole idea of artificial intelligence is if we could build a computer program to act like a human, they can often solve bigger problems quicker and faster. Probably the two best well-known artificial intelligence applications are the Doppler 3000. That's what weather stations use. So if you go in and realize that you can predict weather, it's because we have built up such a big data set of all the weather conditions for 30 years. We now put that into the artificial intelligence system, and then when it's given certain criteria, it can actually predict what the future weather is. Another one you're probably more familiar with is Alexa. Right? Alexa uses voice recognition, AI techniques to be able to understand what you're saying and be able to communicate and interface with you to be able to answer your questions. Now, there's always a lot of hype around AI. Artificial intelligence has been around for 30 plus years, and it seems like every few years it promises to solve a big problem in a space, and then there's a lot more hype and it never delivers on the results. We saw a lot of AI promises in medicine 20 years ago and it never worked out, and now all of a sudden this year, AI's new target that it's going after is cybersecurity. Now, could AI actually help? Absolutely, but I think we have to be careful that we're not putting too much reliance on that computer to solve our problems. We still need to have good, secure lockdown systems. Now, when you talk about AI, really the ultimate test is what we call the Turing Test. Alan Turing, a computer scientist, he basically said computers can achieve full artificial intelligence when you can't differentiate whether you're talking with a human or whether you're talking with a computer. So the way the Turing Test works is you have somebody, they call it person C, and they're communicating in writing to entity A and entity B. Now they know that one of the entities is a human and one of the entities is a computer. And the question is, can you tell the difference? And if you can't tell the difference, if you're in writing communicating with A and B and you can't tell which one is the computer and which one is the human, or to put it another way, both the human and computer are acting the exact same way, then you've passed the Turing Test. And that's what some people use as the validation for artificial intelligence when you can't tell the difference. In my opinion, what I utilize is, can it help solve a problem quicker and faster than normal humans? One of the common methods of artificial intelligence is machine learning. The idea of machine learning is if we can give it enough data sets on how humans operate or how certain activity occurs, then the computer then can predict future activity. And that's exactly what the Doppler 3000, the weather system, does, is we've given it really big data sets of weather conditions, and now when given new conditions, it can predict whether it's going to rain, whether it's going to snow, or whether the sun's going to come out. So the idea in cybersecurity with machine learning is, can we give it large amounts of attack data? Can we give it large amounts of compromises? Because we have that. And then this way, when new data comes in, it can predict what is attack and what is normal. A big area where we're trying to do a lot of machine learning is on phishing attacks. Today's phishing attacks look very legitimate. They look very much like real communication, and that's why people are being tricked. So the idea is this: if we can go in and give it 20, 30, 50,000 different phishing attacks, and it can learn the behavior, now when a new email comes in, can it determine whether it's more like a normal email or whether it's more like a phishing attack? That's where I see some big promises. However, the warnings that people always say with artificial intelligence is if the attackers know this, they can start skewing the data. They can start putting legitimate looking traffic into the attacks to try to mislead us so we can't catch what those real attacks are. So the question is, only the future will tell us whether AI will really work or not.